Hi, welcome to the video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy, and comment your thoughts and opinions on the stories. Let's get started. Wibta, if I give a family heirloom belonging to my late wife to my adopted daughter. My late wife Kate passed away about 12 years ago. They have a family heirloom that has passed down several generations, starting from her great-grandmother, from mothers to their first daughters, on their 18th or thereabouts birthdays. The heirloom itself is not highly valuable in a financial sense, but the history makes it very valuable to the people in the family. I currently possess it after Kate passed away, and I always intended to give it to my daughter, Claire, on her 18th birthday. She is currently 16. I married my current wife about 8 years ago. My stepdaughter, Sarah, whom I have adopted and consider my own daughter, is 17 years and 11 months old. Her 18th birthday is in a month. My wife has also adopted Claire, and we all consider each other as just one family. My wife asked me to give the heirloom to Sarah on her birthday to continue the tradition. I was hesitant because I always intended to give it to Claire, who is Kate's only daughter, as this is what she would have wanted and is a continuation of the tradition. My wife counters that this belongs to our family now and we should give it to our eldest daughter on her 18th birthday, and therefore this should be Sarah. I told her that while I consider Sarah to be my daughter, but she's not Kate's daughter. This belongs to Kate and should go to Kate's daughter. My wife said Claire is her daughter, not anyone else's, and wife accused me of playing favorites and told me that if I truly consider Sarah to be my daughter, then I'll do the right thing for her, or that I haven't really accepted Sarah as a real daughter yet. I consulted my son, from Kate, 25 years old, and he told me that if I do this, he's going to walk from the birthday party, and that he bets he won't be the only one. He said if I do this, I should be ready for severe consequences. He left in a very frustrated way. His argument in the end was that this isn't yours to give away. It was Mom's and now belongs to Claire. My wife thinks my son is overreacting, and it's only because due to his age and moving out he's never bonded with Sarah like Claire and I have. So he doesn't consider Sarah to be his real sister. Otherwise he'd be happy for her. My wife thinks Claire will be happy about this, since she considers Sarah to be her big sister, and it will bring the girls even closer together, because Sarah will happily share it with Claire and they'll both have it. So would I be the asshole if I did what my wife wants me to do and give the heirloom to Sarah? I would say it should go to one of Kate's nieces, if Claire didn't already have it. Your late wife was still Claire's mother, even if she had been adopted by your wife. Comment by team member Taylor. Now for the top comments. This isn't yours to give away. It was Mom's and now belongs to Claire. Your son is absolutely right. This is Kate's inheritance to be passed down to her daughter. AITA for even considering this, and your wife is behaving dreadfully. Wonder how long his wife has had some serious jealousy issues with Kate. She's basically trying to erase her right now. AITA, if you give away the heirloom intended for yours and Kate's daughter, your wife may have adopted Claire, but Kate will always be her mom. That is such a cruel thing to say, and shame on you for not correcting her. At the end of the day, because this came from her mom, it will mean a lot more to Claire than Sarah. Sarah is your daughter too, but I'm sorry, she will not understand or appreciate the significance of something belonging to a woman she never met. Please, learn from this guy. If you give it to Sarah, be prepared to lose Claire and your son. Yes, you would be tar if the heirloom doesn't go to Claire. It was Kate's. It should go to Kate's daughter. Your wife needs to understand it's not yours to give. I'm sorry to say this, but all her arguments against this seem like an attempt to emotionally manipulate you into giving it to Sarah. And while it may make Sarah feel happy, you would be robbing Claire of something that was her mother's. Maybe give it to your son to hold on to until Claire is 18. Am I the antagonist for not forgiving a bully? When I was in middle school, I was bullied a lot for being a guy who dated another guy. I was bullied specifically by one girl, Sasha. The bullying went on for all 4 years I was in middle school, and stopped when she dropped out as a freshman in high school. She recently contacted me via Reddit and asked if we could meet up and talk. We did, and he is now Sam. Completely transitioned from girl to dude. Pecs. Abs. a beard, the whole 9 yards. We talked awkwardly for a few, and he then went on a long apology. It took like 39 minutes, but didn't feel very genuine. In fact, when he was done, he sat back, sighed and said, "There, you happy now?" I just looked down and said, "I'm sorry, but I can't forgive you." He was astounded and got upset. "Why?" I just said I was sorry. I said, "You bullied me relentlessly for years. I became depressed. It ended multiple relationships with adults in my life and friends. You outed me to the people I love most, and they hurt me because of it, and you were the root problem." He was clearly mad at this point and said, "I came here to apologize. Why can't you just get over it?" This stabbed me in the heart. I hung my head and said, "Oh, you didn't come here to apologize. You just came here to be forgiven. You really don't care about me. You just want this burden off your back." He said, "That's not true. I've changed. Why can't you move on?" I said, "It doesn't matter how much you've changed. I'm only ever going to remember you as the girl who made my life hell." He called me homophobic, stood up and said, "I shouldn't have to live with your trauma." And as he was leaving me with the bill, I said, "You should if you're the one who caused it and has no remorse for it." Well, he told people about it and him being called transphobic, homophobic, and him being blasted on social media and group chats. I feel bad now. Am I the asshole? Edit, LMAO. This situation reminds me way too much of that BoJack Horseman episode where he goes to talk to Herb. He did precisely what you claimed he had done, NTA, and reacted angrily to being called out for it. Anyone who is berating you after hearing your side of the story isn't really your friend. You've already dealt with this. Keep a positive attitude and see it through. Comment by team member Shannon. Now for the top comments. You didn't come here to apologize. You just came here to be forgiven. NTA. THIS // is exactly what happened. It's not fair to expect forgiveness just because you work up the courage to apologize, especially if his reasoning was purely selfish and not in the slightest bit altruistic. He didn't apologize to make you feel better. He did it so he could feel better. That doesn't make you a transphobe. It makes you an ashalphobe. I shouldn't have to live with your trauma. He pretty much stated his real reason for apologizing to Opus. Sam is ignoring that Op had to live with his trauma that he inflicted and making himself the victim. If he was truly sorry, then he would have accepted Op's decision not to forgive him. Worse, he targeted Op on social media, showing that he still is a bully and never truly cared for Op's feelings. So, a bully came to apologize, and when you decided that you were not going to forgive him, he decided to start bullying you again, this time in company of a group of friends. Wow, what a big change. I'm so sorry, Op. Not the a-hole, of course. Am I the antagonist for telling my daughter the truth about where her birthday gift came from? I, 30 male, got divorced 2 years ago to my ex-wife Jane, 33F. We have a daughter together, 10F. Really? 2 weeks ago it was her birthday. There was this bike that really wanted really badly, so I decided to get it for her. Beforehand I checked with Jane to make sure it was okay that I bought really this. Jane said that it was fine and she didn't care. When the day of her birthday came and it was time to open presents, Jane acted like the bike was her gift to Riley because she forgot to get Riley one. I wasn't going to embarrass her in front of everyone, so I let it slide. After that I told Jane that she better tell Riley that she didn't get her the bike, and that I did, or else I would tell Riley. I gave Jane time to tell Riley, but she didn't. It's important to add in the past, when Jean has forgotten to get Riley gifts, I let her act as if it was a shared gift, or she bought it, and I would end up having to buy another one. Yesterday I ended up telling Riley that the bike she got was from me. She told me that she knew it was from me because there was a card in the box, but she didn't say anything. Jane ended up finding out and got mad at me and told me that I was selfish for doing that. The 10-year-old daughter of Jane realized her mother had forgotten her birthday. Jane is being selfish because it's simple to find really a tiny but thoughtful present. She will appreciate your concern for her if you are just honest with her. Comment by team member Parker. Now for the top comments. NTA, your daughter has already figured out who her mom is. Carry on and be real, a soft place to land when mom hurts her even worse in the future. This NTA. Jane is a peach. I can't understand how you could separate from her. She seems lovely. /SNTA. Please try to always be honest with your daughter. You're doing great. Thank you. NTA. Who forgets to give their kid a birthday gift? I never have. Even as a single mom. Am I the antagonist for refusing to contribute to my nephew's college fund when I heavily contributed to my niece's? 38 male. I'm single and childless by choice, but am close with my family, especially my niece and nephew. 18F. Stephanie, and 18 male. Alexander. I own a small business near a major university that caters to students. It's mostly a bookstore that specializes in discount textbooks. But we also sell coffee and baked goods and offer study areas. Since it's hard to find jobs that fit high schoolers' schedules, I've allowed Stephanie and Alexander to work at the store since they were 15. I had an offer with both Stephanie and Alexander that either I would give them their payment weekly or put it in a bonus college fund for them. I recommended the college fund as it would be more useful in the long run, but it was still their choice. They could change this payment route anytime. Stephanie chose a college fund route, while Alexander wanted weekly pay. Now they're 18 and going to college in the fall. Stephanie has a hefty amount saved up in her college fund. She claims it will be enough to cover 3 years at her chosen university. She has also received several scholarships, so she can easily cover the rest with student loans. Alexander is much less responsible with money than his sister. He has virtually no savings because he will almost immediately blow his paycheck on things he doesn't need. The longest he saved was for 3 weeks before he decided to spend it on a video game console. Alexander was accepted into his dream college, but says he is unsure how he's going to afford it. My sister-in-law and brother were previously middle class, but lost a lot of money during the pandemic. They recently asked me if I was willing to help cover at least the first few years of Alexander's undergraduate program, and how I could pay them in segments if need be. I could technically afford to, but I would need to take some from Stephanie's college fund. I told them I thought it would be unfair to Stephanie to bail her brother out with the money she worked to save all those years. I have some of my own savings, but it's an emergency fund in case something happens with the store. My sister-in-law and brother were disappointed, but told me they understood. The problem is with our parents. They told me that it was selfish to leave my nephew unable to attend his dream school and should split the college funds. I told them that Alexander already got his money, he just spent it already. They told me I should then give away my emergency savings because most teenagers aren't that great with money. And if Alexander had to leave his dream school while Stephanie could afford hers, it could cause the family to resent Stephanie, and I should prevent that rift before their relationships get hurt. But the twins have always had a good relationship with each other, and I think it's hideously unfair that Alexander gets bailed out while his sister had to work hard. Am I the antagonist? Stephanie, Alex's identical twin sister, wants her parents to divide their retirement funds with her brother for college. Determine what to do with your parents' donations by asking them where they are. Comment by team member Parker. Now for the top comments. If, in fact, the only compensation for Stephanie's work was the contribution to her college fund, you'd be stealing Stephanie's wages to subsidize Alexander. NTA. Exactly. Hopefully that's illegal and no one can talk you into doing it, because you sound like you're on the fence about it. NTA. Stephanie's college fund does her savings, not your money to share between the two kids. It's time for Alexander to learn that money doesn't grow on trees. If your parents want to help Alexander with college costs, they are welcome to do so, but you shouldn't risk your business for them. Exactly. It's not just savings, it's her wages that are not the uncle's, a split. Am I the antagonist for asking for a new engagement ring? My 25F boyfriend finds 27 male proposed to me the other day. We have talked about getting married before this happened, and I have told him exactly what kind of ring I wanted, down to the shape and band. When he proposed to me, the ring wasn't anything close to what we have previously talked about. I accepted the proposal, of course. But last night he brought up that his mother actually picked out the ring. He asked me what I thought about it. So I told him honestly what I thought and asked if we could get a different one. He got upset and told me I was being ungrateful and that I should be happy that he even got me a ring. He said that his mom was the one to pick it out, so I should just wear it. Today, his mom called me basically telling me that I have no taste in jewelry and that I should just go with what she says. I get that he spent a lot of money on this ring, but we have talked about what I wanted before, and I'm going to be the one wearing this. Am I being ungrateful for asking for a new ring? Am I the antagonist? You told him everything you liked, yet he ignored you and sided with your mother. He is now attempting to convince you to swallow your pride because what you desire is irrelevant, along with his mother. Why did his mother choose it and not him? Yes, I definitely say no to it. Comment by team member Shannon. Now for the top comments. Oh no Opus. Are you ready for a marriage of being told you should do things because his mom said? Why was she even involved in the ring selection at all? NTA. It reads like a prequel to Get Out before it turns into that. Opus. NTA. If he's already putting his mom ahead of you like this, you may want to just return it and move on. It's not just the ring you're stuck with, it's also his mom and living with how much he may side with her over you. Yep. My mel wasn't involved. She wouldn't be. I hit the jackpot in in-laws, but Hubs picked a ring that wasn't at all practical for my lifestyle or my style. It felt awkward to bring it up, but hen we had a lot of fun looking together. Since shouldn't it be a first step in and symbol of partnership? I'm sorry op, but I agree that any guy who basically tells you should shut up and be grateful about something you don't like isn't a person who respects or prioritizes you. He knew what you wanted and decided it didn't matter. This isn't even adding in that he's prioritizing his mom over you and allowing her to utterly disrespect you with that nasty message. Am I the antagonist for insinuating that my brother has a pregnancy bump fetish? Throwaway account. My girlfriend, Shiana, are expecting our first child in 2 months. Despite being 7 months along, Shiana barely looks pregnant. She doesn't have much of a visible baby bump, and many don't assume that she's pregnant, let alone that she's expecting very soon. My family is not very fond of Shiana. When we first announced that we were having a child, their first reaction was to accuse Shiana of baba-tripping me or manipulating me. Since then, I've only spoken to them when necessary. My mum invited Shiana and I for my grandmother's 80th birthday. It was going to a huge event, with most, if not all, of my family in attendance. I was very hesitant to go, but Shiana said that we could go for a few hours just to see how everyone is doing and then leave once we got tired. When we got there, Shiana's pregnancy was the topic of the day, which I expected, but my mum and brother kept constantly bringing up her lack of a bump. According to them, Shiana is lying to everyone about her pregnancy for money attention, while everyone else seemed happy for us. My brother was snickering in the corner about how she definitely isn't pregnant. It got very annoying very quickly. Every opportunity he got, my brother would mention how Shiana was playing me or accusing her of not eating enough intentionally in order to not grow a bump. Some family members were laughing, but some of them seemed to be over my brother's constant comments. After each comment, I had to tell him to shut up and focus on his own life. But my mum would always defend him and was willing to start a big scene, which Shiana advised me against. Shiana was a little unbothered, so we decided to stay for food and then leave. As we were sitting down to eat, my brother made a joke about inducing labor to check if she's really pregnant. Shiana looked shocked, and I think most people were stunned by his joke. Instead of getting mad, I said, I understand that you have a weird thing for pregnant women, but I'm eating, and I don't want to hear about your fetish. He seemed to get very annoyed by that and stormed off and locked himself in a bedroom somewhere. I left before he came back, but everyone, my mum and a few of my family members, told me that my comment was extremely inappropriate at a family gathering and I should apologize to him. And that joke about starting labor early was indefensible, repugnant, and out of place in any circumstance. Stop communicating with your family and depart. And why are they so hostile towards your girlfriend? Is there a peculiar explanation behind it? Comment by team member Cody. Now for the top comments. Makes zero sense for anybody to accuse you of inappropriateness when the onslaught of inappropriateness from your brother clearly drove you there. He's quite rude. I would deal with him in future only from a safe distance, not the a-hole. I don't think I can deal with him right now, but in time I might. NTA. Tell them you apologize to your brother after he and all of your other relatives apologize for all of the verbal abuse they've made towards your girlfriend. Also, it's time to upgrade from LC to straight up NC. I know. My brother and my mum will not be in my child's life, no matter how hard they protest.